Good evening. I'm Father Cyprian Consiglio. I'm a Camaldolese Benedictine monk coming to you from the Hermitage down in Big Sur. But I was also fortunate enough to be a part of the first New Year's Eve interreligious meditation Vigil for Peace, long name, 16 years ago in 2004, right there in Holy Cross Hall. I'm consoled and thrilled that the good work that we started back then has continued to bear so much fruit, especially with the Sangha and the Tent of Abraham and this wonderful bond of friendship we've developed with Temple Beth El and Santa Cruz Zen Center, among other faith communities in the area. We monks have the luxury of living a rather isolated life. Not that we don't have our own human drama and bills to pay, but our main focus is this luxury of focusing on the interior life. I suppose there are those who think that this is kind of a waste of time in the world when there's so much other need. I always rely on this insight that came to me some years ago, as a matter of fact, right after the terrorist attacks in 2001, that when the rest of the world was going crazy with panic and anger, and maybe justifiably so, someone had to hold this other space for everyone, especially for those who didn't have the ability to. The inner space, the ground that we actually do share, no matter our religion or our ethnicity. That place in us, as we Christians would say, where we're created in the image of God and somehow already always in relationship with God. And also to hold on to that vision of what the world could be if we were in right relationship with the divine, in a right relationship with each other. In the years I spent away from the monastery, teaching and singing and doing retreat work and conferences and all the work I did in interreligious dialogue, that was the sole purpose of my work, to foster that encounter, to foster that realization, to foster that experience in anyone that I met, and perhaps to share some of the tools I had learned from the monastic life and continue to learn from the monastic life about that interior journey where the real energy comes from for our living, even if we have to do it online sometimes or in the privacy of our bedrooms or our offices, deprived for a time of the wind and the strength and the warmth of community. I was also invited to share some music with you, and I just couldn't decide what song to sing that really conveyed what I was feeling these days, keenly aware of the situation in our own country and in our world and everything else we've collectively gone through in this past year. And I finally decided I was going to write something new, something I don't get a chance to do very often in my new job. There's a phrase that gets mentioned 3 times in the Bible that always attracts me and intrigues me. It's once at the end of the book of the great prophet Isaiah. It's once in the second epistle of St. Peter in the Christian scriptures. And then it appears one more time at the very end of the Christian Bible, at the end of the book of Revelation. That phrase is, a new heavens and a new earth. A new heavens and a new earth. And that phrase has all kinds of resonances with me, which we just don't have time for now. But suffice it to say this, I pray that this experience of these dark and difficult days has led us to reassess our understanding of the divine. And that's what I mean by the new heaven. And also, hopefully, this experience is going to lead us to a greater commitment to put our hands to work to build a new earth together. It's that our hope is based on, that we're going somewhere, that we can go somewhere, that we can do something together, we can move forward through this. As David Brooks put it a few weeks ago, we're at one of those inflection points in our society where we either decide to be a diverse society or not, where we either decide to be an equal society or not. And I would add to that we're at one of those inflection points in the world where we know we're either going to do this together or we're going to die. So let's dream together tonight and in the year ahead of a new heaven and pledge to work together to build a new earth.